When May rolls around and the AQI drops to 100, there is a collective sigh of relief across Delhi NCR. We throw open our windows, go for runs in the park, and behave as if the air has finally returned to a safe state. This feeling of safety is a psychological side effect of the trauma we endure every winter. Surviving AQI levels past 400 every November establishes a baseline so extreme that a reading of 100 feels like a victory for our health. This chart compares perception against medical reality. The WHO sets the safe limit at 15 micrograms. India's satisfactory label normalizes concentrations up to 60. Delhi's annual average is 100. Even moderate spring air carries a toxic load far exceeding global health guidelines. By grading our air on a curve relative to the worst days of winter, we are normalizing hazardous, life-altering pollution for 12 months a year. We often assume the monsoon brings a genuine reprieve, believing the heavy rains between July and September wash the city's pollution away. Physics tells a more complicated story. Rain captures coarse dust and visible smog quite well, but PM 2.5 particles are too small to be efficiently caught. As a raindrop falls, the microscopic particles simply slip around it in the air current, remaining suspended in the air we breathe. High humidity complicates the issue through hygroscopic growth. Certain pollutants, like sulfates, act as tiny sponges, absorbing moisture from damp air and swelling in size. Data from the peak of the monsoon confirms this. Even at the cleanest point of the year, PM 2.5 levels hover between 30 and 60 micrograms, 2 to 4 times the WHO danger limit. There is no truly clean month in the NCR. There are only months where the danger becomes invisible to the naked eye. Protecting our health in this city requires a shift in focus from avoiding bad weeks to managing a cumulative lifetime dosage of particulate matter. The sheer volume of air we process is staggering. A sedentary adult takes roughly 17,000 breaths every day, pulling in over 6 million breaths every year. Multiplied by Delhi's annual average concentration, the volume becomes a physical mass. Every year, residents inhale 292 milligrams of fine particulate matter. In contrast, the WHO's annual guideline is just 15 milligrams. We experience a 20-fold increase over the ideal limit. This turns breathing in Delhi into a compounding math problem, where the damage accumulates quietly through millions of seemingly ordinary breaths. Projecting this annual intake over the lifespan of a 40-year-old resident reveals the visceral reality of living in the NCR. Over 4 decades, between 3 and 6 grams of toxic dust are permanently deposited deep inside the lungs and absorbed into the bloodstream. The vast majority of this 6-gram dose accumulates during the 9 months of moderate and satisfactory air, rather than the high-profile smog events of November. Opening windows and turning off filtration once winter ends ensures you will absorb the bulk of your maximum lifetime exposure when your guard is down. If the outdoor air remains toxic year-round, we have to look for a different kind of leverage. That leverage is time. Urban adults spend 60 to 80% of their lives indoors, and children spend even more. This graph shows how we can use that time to our advantage. By perfectly controlling the air quality in your home for the 8 to 10 hours you sleep, you cut your daily cumulative dose in half. Since we cannot control the city's airshed, sealing and filtering the indoor environment provides the only mathematical escape hatch available. We need a behavioral shift. Start treating indoor air like drinking water, rather than a seasonal emergency. We filter our water year-round because cumulative exposure to pathogens is dangerous, and we must apply that same logic to the air we breathe. This is why AQIQ builds whole-home, positive-pressure, fresh air systems. These units continuously pull in filtered outdoor air and flush out stale air while running 24/7 on minimal power. Visit the link in the description to see the full year-round math and pricing, and stop relying on the calendar to protect your lungs. Treat clean air as a continuous utility, a permanent requirement for long-term health in Delhi NCR.